In this video, I'm going to show you the exact process that we did to generate 250K in revenue, all organic. Before I dive into the breakdown, here's quick proof of the numbers that we did. As you can see right here, over 250K in revenue generated, cash collected, pretty solid as well. And then here's like actual screenshots and a few other payment processors. In total, it came out to 236.5K cash collected. If you want to see more results, just go to my Instagram at kareem.msk. Time for what you came here for. Everything starts off with getting leads organically through using an organic IG funnel. So with this organic IG funnel, you're going to be posting Instagram stories and you want to be posting daily reels. And this is what the breakdown would look like. You're going to have Instagram stories. 1 to 3 of those Instagram stories is going to include a CTA. That can be a CTA to book a call or CTA to DM you a keyword for a DM setter to go in, start the conversation, and potentially set them. For other Instagram story sequences that are not CTAs, they're not going to have any CTAs in them, will be Q&As to build that relationship, especially when new followers come in. You want to give out free information. You want to do story sequences where you're breaking limiting beliefs. This is when they hop on the closing call. They have limiting beliefs. They have which is their objections that come up at the end of the call. These can be even limiting beliefs that's going to hold them back from even showing up to that closing call. So you want to break those limiting beliefs in the Instagram stories. Next, you want to do some storytelling, right? You can tell a story about your journey. You can tell stories about your other students, how they started and how they came up, the results that they have now. And which leads into the last one is just posting real results, testimonials, whether it's your students or your testimonials. That's the IG stories, but when it comes to your Instagram reels, you want to do 2 to 5 a day. You want to be very, very consistent. That's the thing with organic. You're in control of how consistent you can be with posting content, but you can't control the algorithm, right? You're kind of in the hands of the algorithm, so you have to really increase your chances of having a video that does well. So that's why you have to be very consistent and post 2 to 5 per day with CTAs in that description or in the actual video itself. So that CTA will be like, comment this keyword. And once they comment that keyword, that's where ManyChat automatically sends them that free training. This is my favorite part about the organic funnel, because the way we have this set up, the ManyChat sends them that VSL free training, and they will either self-book or get set by the DM setter, or get an outbound dial and get set by the phone setter. So with this setup right here properly, no leads will slip through the crack. The self-book is very easy. We have an opt-in, and then they watch the free training, which is the VSO itself. And then from there, they can go through the type form to see if they qualify. If they do qualify, that's when they can be taken to Calendly to book a call. Easy stuff. Now with the DM setter, once the ManyChat, basically we use this as like the ManyChat starting the conversation. Once they get sent this, then I also have the DM setter go in there and be like, hey, thanks for reaching out, and go into the whole setting, DM setting process. And then we also have their phone number, right? So our outbound dialers can contact them because they opted in. First thing they have to do to watch that free training, which they want to watch, they're interested in, they have to opt in and give us their name, phone number, and email. They get put in the CRM, and then our phone setters are on top of them, speed to lead, and we'll double dial them and try to get them booked on a calendar, of course, if they qualify for that closing call. In my opinion, the sales process is the most important part of this whole thing working properly, and I'll get into the sales team, the sales process at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the funnel. Obviously, when we get them in through the organic IG funnel, the next step will be we'll take them to the actual funnel itself, which is a book a call funnel. And what we want to do with the book a call funnel, we want to front load it with testimonials, especially with where the state of info is. We are in a trust deficit, so you definitely want to front load with testimonials to make them believe that they can do it themselves as well by seeing people just like them in those video testimonials and screenshots. So we front load the VSL, the lander, with testimonials, pretty much every single page with testimonials. Once they opt in, right, I kind of explained this, they watch the free training, the VSL itself. In the VSL, you want to make sure you sell them on the 3 big cells in info. If you're not familiar with, it's selling them on you, the personal brand, selling them on the business model, and selling them on making them believe that they can do this business model. It's possible for them as well. In this VSL, you also want to pre-handle objections. You want to create scarcity. You want to talk about who this is for and not for, so you don't bring in the wrong leads. That's part of it. What they get in the program, obviously, you don't want to get every single detail, but coaching program, community, whatever you give them. And then have a free training lesson, because you said opt in for the free training, right? They opted in for the free training. They're going to expect some training. You don't want to just sell them. Now, what you go over in this video, in this VSL, will also be the same thing that's going to be in copy. When they go to the landing page, all the copy on there is going to do the same thing pretty much, okay? After the free training, they have an option to apply to book a call. Now, this is where the type form comes in to qualify them. Obviously, there's more ways after this to continue to qualify them and prepare them. If they qualify after filling out the type form, then they get to the final page of that funnel, which is the congratulations page, where we have a bunch of back-end pre-call resources, material, homework, whatever you want to call it. The way it's set up, congratulations page, then you have your first video. First video basically breaks down what this congratulations page is about. Next video is what to expect, X, Y, and Z, maybe even touch on a limiting belief people start having once they book a call. Now, after that, you want to have videos on there answering common questions. These are questions your closer gets on the closing calls. If you're the closer yourself, these are questions that are repetitive. You get consistently on most closing calls. You want to answer them in this congratulations page where you have these videos answering all these common questions. Then the next one, you want to go over how to join the call, including screenshots of how to actually find the email, how to confirm and say yes. And you want to throw another video in there, just educating them on the business model, continue to sell them on the business model, especially if they're new to the business model. All your video testimonials that you have, all your screenshots of wins, whether they're personal screenshots of wins or your students, you just want to spam all of them in this congratulations page. So at the end, when they scroll, it's just scroll all testimonials. You want to have like 200-300 screenshots. Obviously, if you don't have that many testimonials, just put all of them that you have. If that's 3, just put all 3 there. Next, if you have any reviews, maybe on Trustpilot and other review platforms, make sure you're being transparent. This is one way to stand out and let them know, like, hey, I don't have anything to hide here. The reviews, you can go through and read them. Do your due diligence before the call. That's basically something like you can go over in that first video too on that congratulations page. Like, hey, this is what I have on there for you to do your due diligence, because that's what I like to do as well before when I have calls like this. Okay, and then all of this nurtures and prepares the lead for the closing call. Every step we're nurturing them, we're preparing them, getting them one step closer closer to the close. Okay, now it's time for the most important part, which is they went through the funnel, they booked the call. It's time for the sales call. For all this to work properly and successfully, to make a lot of money, you need to have a really good sales team, sales process. You need a killer sales process with DM setters, dialers, closers. Most people would say this, like people who've been in info for a while and they're actually smart. They know what they're doing, what they're talking about. This space is like, to be successful, 60% sales. You need to have a solid sales team, sales process, and 40% marketing. If you have great marketing, but your sales team is just trash, burning leads, don't know what they're doing, not on top of it, which I'll get into other traits they need to be successful at the end of this video. And we're almost there. So let's get into it. DM setter, send pre-call homework. So let's say it was a DM set, right? DM setter continues to nurture them in the DM, sends them pre-call homework, gets them ready for their call. The good thing about DM sets is because if you do it properly, you have the right systems in place, you know what you're doing, that person in DMs thinks they're actually talking to the offer owner, right? So if you do it properly, DM sets can have a lot of authority to the point where you don't even need to call them before their closing call. Now, for everything else, we definitely call them for their closing call. This you can test. It just depends. So once they book a call, we continue to qualify them. You don't want to just rely on the type form that qualified them, because people 100% lie on the type form. They lie. Financial qualification, they give the wrong answers. Most of it there's going to be a lie in there. So you cannot go 100% off the Typeform. So that's where the phone setters come in. And these phone setters need to be good. Why? Again, people lie. They can even lie to your phone setters. So in your setters phone setting process, this is what they need to get. They need to get very basic. They need to get the goals. I'm just hitting on the most important parts. They need to get the pain out of them, emotions. They need to get a time gap. They need to get limiting belief, pre-handle that, and they need to get a why now and create urgency. If you get all of this, they'll actually show up to their call. It will improve your show rate. If you have a good setter, your show rate will increase. Versus you do everything perfect before the call, nurturing them, how to actually join the call. You do all that perfect, but your setter sucks. No show rate. It's gonna be terrible. People are gonna start canceling, rescheduling. All of a sudden, they have an emergency. If your phone setter is bad, if your phone setter is good and they do all of this, they actually do all this and they're good, you're going to make a lot of money. What happens if they don't? Like I said, you're cooked. Apparently, everyone, the day you have a closing call is the day you have an emergency. Everyone has an emergency. Their grandma got to take them to the hospital. Something happened to the kid. All of a sudden, on their off day, they're getting called into work. What's going on? This is how when you start seeing this happening consistently, this is something is off. Probably need to get a new setter. Have your sales manager review your setter's calls. Make sure your manager is training that setter properly. Make sure that setter is in coaching programs and consistently sharpening his sword. Because sales is just like sports. You need to put in the reps. If not, you're going to get lapped by the competition. So let's say you have a killer setter and then that person actually shows up to their closing call. This is where you need a skilled closer. To make it very, very, very simple, your closer needs to have a great first half of their closing call. The whole point of the closing call, you don't want to be like, how can I take this person's money? You want to come in with a mindset of like, how can I change this person's life? And everyone is different. That you're going to have different characters join those closing calls, different personalities. People have different limiting beliefs. So your goal is in the first half of the call to really fix this person, solve this person. And I did a call review the other day where the closer did this so well. The person started solving their limiting beliefs, walking through it word by word themselves as the closer was guiding them. So the first half is the most important part. If you don't do the first half properly and then you get it to objections, it's going to be impossible to objection handle them. You want to objection handle, take care of the limiting belief and use that limiting belief throughout the call. So when objection handle comes, remember, we just talked about this. It's coming up again, John. And then you pre-handle it, but you're gonna actually objection handle, but it's gonna be much easier because you've been touching on it throughout the whole call. Enough of sales sauce that I'm giving out. Let's focus on. So they also need a feature, pace, and consequence after that good first half of the call. Objection handling it's gonna be a piece of cake if they did the first half of the call properly. Skilled closer equals a lot of money. Now, one thing I want you to remember, this is very, 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 very important. I want to make sure your sales rep sound good on the phone. Make sure they are hungry. You don't want any lazy people. You don't want any normie people who are used to like a 9-to-5 type of schedule where they only start work at this hour and they have to stop at this hour. They're not working any hours outside of that. They take weekends off. We don't want those people. You don't want those people on your offer. Trust me. I've been in this space for 3 years. And you want people who treat this like a sport. They've invested and are continuing to invest in themselves, consistently have a mentor, reviewing coaching calls, doing role plays, all that good stuff. Okay. Another thing is like your setters don't matter when it comes to looks. Obviously, they can't see them unless you're doing a triage over Zoom. But you need to make sure your closers also, they gotta look good, right? And they gotta have a presentable background, good camera, good audio quality. If it looks like they're in their mom's basement, it's going to be very hard for them to get closes. Now, if you want to learn how to do this, or if you want this implemented for your offer, I made it sound and made it look real easy, but trust me, it takes a lot of work to set up all the systems and let alone manage the sales team, hire the right talent, maintain the talent. It's not easy. And if you're an alpha owner watching this, I will let you know right now, it's almost impossible to do all this yourself and be successful and make the bare minimum 100K a month. Okay? All the killers have someone operating their business while they're just the face of it. And if you are someone who wants to learn how to do this for someone else, well, it doesn't matter. DM me if you need help with this on Instagram. I got you, Kareem.msk, Kareem.msk. Appreciate you for watching until the end. Comment what you learned. Leave a like. Love you guys. See you in the next one.